last night, uh, last night I had a pretty bad seizure, and it was stress induced. It was stress induced. I'll admit that. But it was, people act more adult around others, but when they're by themselves, it seems to be different. You act a little more kind of kiddish in a way. To me, that's the way I am. But like my last night I was thinking about it, and I was thinking about my grandfather and my father. And my grandparents had raised me since the age of 3. My mother started smoking crack at the age of, when I was the age of 3, and smoked crack for 40 years. Yeah. She didn't stop until I was 43 years old. So that's part of my life that I don't tell everybody. Everybody does not know about that. Daryl doesn't know about that. So yeah. But I'm sitting there thinking about my grandfather and my dad, and they're both gone. I lost my grandfather in 2012, July 2012, and I lost my grandmother very, very young. I was 12, almost 13 years old. She had cancer, very, very bad, but this was in 1993. So it was, I mean, she had it on the brain, she had it on her lungs, she had it in her lymph nodes, she had it was everywhere. She didn't have a chance. I mean, they did the chemo and the radiation, and she didn't have a damn chance. She really didn't. And I mean, it crushed my grandfather, of course, because when I was born, my grandmother was 39. Yeah, she was 39 years old. That's crazy. I couldn't imagine. I'm like 39. When I was 39, my oldest son was turning 9 years old. 39. But yeah, so it was just crazy. It was almost like I could have been the oops kid, I guess. Mom and dad getting a little freaky at around 42, 43 years old, and oops, there's the kid. So, but anyway, them two, they loved me like I was their own. I mean, the amount of love I got from those two people, and when my grandmother passed away, in me and my grandfather became best friends. We were like best friends. We were like roommates and best friends. He never gave me, a specific curfew to be home at. He never, because he always knew, Jay's gonna be home about 10 o'clock. Jay's gonna be home about 10 o'clock. And my middle name is Robert, so he nicknamed me J Bob. He's like, J Bob. I'm like, what? He's like, oh, I'm just counting butt heads. Want to make sure you got counted. You do stuff like the same thing I do to my kids. They're like, dude, Dad. But so, and then my dad, he passed away in 2015. But me and my dad, we were close, but it wasn't the closeness like me and my grandfather had. Me and my grandfather, we took care of each other. I took care of him, he took care of me. Like when my grandmother passed away, I started cleaning the house. I would clean the house. I'd take care of the house. He didn't have to worry about it. And, he would cook. That was his thing. He would cook. So, you know, it's like trade-off. You know, it was like we're roommates or something like that. He used to joke about it all the time. He used to joke about it all the time. And I remember when I went up to Massachusetts for the service, because we had 2 services for him. We had one down here in Florida for his friends and family down here, and then we had one up in Massachusetts where he's from for all the family up there, because he had a ton of nieces and nephews and their kids, and I have cousins up there and stuff like that. So me and my uncle thought it'd be best if I went up there, because the last time I was up there I was like 7 months old or something like that, or a year old or something like that. So it's been a while. So went up there, and we stayed with T and Terry, which is his niece and her husband. And Terry said it every single day. He's like, you were his number one. You were his number one. You were his number one. So I mean, it's killed me ever since he passed away. It's killed me. I mean, you know, I've lost people, but you know, I lost people in combat and stuff like that. But to lose, like, so it's weird. It's just, it's almost like you lose half yourself in a way. You know, it's almost like you lose half yourself. So like what I was thinking about last night, I'm like, man, Papa's gone, my dad's gone. Like, you're your own man now, dude. You gotta start putting the things that you want and the things that you gotta do on different burners. He's like, you got your pots on the wrong burner. Yeah, I was really criticizing myself last night. I think that's why I had the seizure. I was really criticizing myself last night. And I don't know, I wouldn't say, well, I guess you could say like critiquing myself. Just analyzing every single part of my life, what I can do in this part of my life. This part I can't do anything about. This part I can do something about. This part I can't do anything about. You know, just every little thing. Try to find out what I can do. So.